Cutthroat Dave's group, and they don't smell like them, but other than that, they don't look much different. They'll probably attack us on sight like all of the others. And here I thought we'd have filled our quota of the pointless fights for today. Clive, do you see that? Says one of the men. By the gods, it's a banshee, says another. Third man starts screaming, falls on his back. Monster, monster, kill the monster, yells one of them with sheer terror in his voice. He doesn't seem to be taking this very well. She's looking towards the ground, but this time it's not anger. I see it in her eyes. If I were to guess, I'd say she's feeling miserable. The man named Clive is now rushing and screaming towards Kate with the sword in his hand, ready to run her through. Darren readies his own sword, but before he gets to act, it is Kate that puts herself between Kate and the attacking mage. Stop, she yells. The mage named Clive stops in his track. Get out of my way, woman, he says, or I'll kill you along with that monstrosity you're keen on defending. You can't hurt her, I won't let you. I owe her for saving my life. She wasn't even here when we saved your life. And you can't hurt me either. I'm a citizen of Wraithia. Ha, you think their dumb rules can stop me? I've murdered people before. I'll teach you a little trick. As long as they don't catch you in the act, they have no real proof. Well, they do have proof because considering they're constantly keeping track, considering they gave us a message. As long as they don't catch you in act, they have no real proof. I don't know why a message is not showing up for him. But you don't believe in their fairy tales about their spells somehow teleporting me away before I kill you, do you? Anyone smarter than a rat would be able to tell that's just a bluff. He's right. Even for magic, a spell like the one Arathia claimed to have cast on us would go much beyond what we know is possible to stop an attack before it even occurs. That would need something akin to thought reading. Clive, one of the other men, says, maybe you should let her be. We shouldn't be going around attacking locals on our second day. Don't worry, I won't be attacking her, Clive says with a wicked grin. I'm just going to tease this little whore her place. No, Darren shouts as he runs towards Rose. Same time, Kate extends her arm towards Clive. An ice cone is slowly forming out of her palm. Clive quickly slashes his knife at Rose's face. She instinctively closes her eyes. The mage stops his strike mere inches away from his target. His whole body starts vibrating loudly as he gets enveloped in a white light. Ah, shit, he starts to say, but he gets teleported out of the content away from the tournament. What did you do to Clive, you filthy? And he's screaming. The man who started to talk was immediately interrupted by one of Kate's cones that went right through his shoulder. Oh, that would kill him because, bleeding and all that. Normally, I wouldn't think twice about killing scum like you, as Kate says, but I'd rather spare Rose from witnessing a gruesome bloodbath. I'm offering you a chance to retreat. What do you say? The man with the ice cone in his right shoulder is grinding his teeth. Forget the banshee, he says to his comrade. Let's get the hell out of here. Once the two of them get far enough away, Kate turns to Rose and says, I've changed my mind. I would be honored to serve you as your escort until you reach your hometown. I'm sorry for having misjudged you. What you just did was very brave and heroic. Really? Because it seemed reckless and stupid. Since when do you appreciate bravery and heroism? I want to target Kate, so I will go with that actually. When do you appreciate bravery and heroism? Kate, who was standing right beside me, punches me in the right shoulder. Her punch was strong enough to leave a decent bruise. Holy shit. Damn it, Kate, have you ever heard of moderation? Shut up, you asked for it. Trying to be nice and you ruined the moment. Being nice doesn't suit you. Now, punching people on the other hand. Rose lets out a giggle, which catches your attention. I'm sorry, she says, smiling. It's just that you remind me of my little brother and sister, who always have fights like this. You two seem really close. Kate is blushing. This is the first time I've ever seen her blush since I've met her yesterday. Kind of suits her. I can see why, Darren says, grinning. Barry's been smitten with Kate ever since he first laid eyes on her. Oh shit, why would you say that out loud? This guy is already a fucking dumbass when it comes to these situations. Now he's saying that shit out loud. Are you serious? You what? Kate asked me, taking Darren's joke a little too seriously. Hey now, says Darren. You'll have to continue this conversation later in private. Now that there's 4 of us, you'll need to rethink our battle strategy. We need to make sure nothing happens to Rose if we encounter any monsters on our way to her hometown. So we end up spending the rest of the morning on discussing different tactics and stratagems. Also, why the fuck would... This is the weird part of a conversation. Seriously, why would Darren go about that? I mean, our character doesn't really like Kate like that all that much. Just for now, at least. It's obviously going in that direction. But fucking hell. Checkpoint reached. Game saved. Alright, I think that's a wrap, says Darren once we finish our strategy meeting. We are currently all sitting in a circle in front of a cave entrance. Sun is pretty high up in the sky, so there's not a cloud inside. Luckily, Kate has graciously agreed to use her ice magic to cool the air around us a bit. This way we can enjoy the weather without feeling as if we were inside an oven. Noon is almost upon us, Darren continues. We should get going as soon as possible. We can't afford to keep traveling. Once the sun sets, we have a long road ahead of us. Rose, did you get all the herbs you were looking for? Oh no, I just remembered. I dropped my bag of herbs when I was being chased by the goblins. Don't worry, I doubt anyone would have stolen it so it must still be where you left it. I'll help you look for it. Come with me. I get up to follow them, but Kate grabs me by the sleeve. Wait, she says, something that's been bothering me since this morning. She looks really tense. It seems that she's struggling to get the words out of her mouth. Were you? She pauses. Were you really smitten with me when you first saw me? I mean, we did technically get smitten by her. Technically speaking, we did get smitten by her when we first looked at her because we were like, oh, she's cute. And then we were like, oh shit, it's a banshee. So, yeah. So, of all things I would have expected her to say to me right now, that was the last of them. Thanks a lot, Darren. What am I supposed to tell her now? Of course not. That was just joking earlier. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to go with that. Even if that was true, I would not go for that. I do not want to get fucking pierced by an icicle. Maybe a little. Maybe a little, I tell her. You were? I thought he was just joking. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I'm not interested right now. I said only a little. What's gotten into you all of a sudden? This isn't like you. Kate looks away, takes a deep breath, and exhales before she continues. I'm guessing she's because she is always being chased away or like attacked and shit, so she probably doesn't have the opportunity for these sort of things. I'm guessing, at least. When those three mages attacked us earlier, it made me realize something. You and Rose are the only person I've ever met that did not treat me like some kind of monster. When people don't always say it openly, like those three mages did, there's something in their eyes that gives them away, something that makes it clear that they do not see me as human. It's the same with Darren. Despite what you have said, I don't think he truly believes I'm not a banshee. I think it's only a matter of time before I'll have to fight him, just like I've had to fight everyone else. I guess she's already starting to see through my lie already. I was hoping I could convince her to not lose her trust in Darren, but it seems like she never really had much trust in him to begin with. Keshusa gives back to me, but you and Rose, you're different. When I talk to you, I see neither fear nor apprehension in your eyes. You speak to me as normally as you would speak with any other person. I do not know why that is. I do not know what's wrong with you, but thank you for making me feel part of a group for the first time in my life. I would be embarrassed as shit if someone said that shit to me. Hey, there you are. Darren shouts from a distance as he and Rose come back from the forest. We found Rose's bag not far from here, and it's still got all her herbs inside. We should be going. We should be good to go. When he gets closer, he looks at Kate and me. I'm sorry, did we interrupt something? Yeah, Kate was just about to profess her love to me. Okay, that is way too funny. I'm sorry. Oh, we're definitely going with this. Yeah, Kate was just about to profess her love for me. Kate makes a long sword of ice materialize in her hand, and she presses it's tight-lipped against my throat. Say that again, I dare you. See, now you're acting more like yourself. All jokes aside, I think Darren has a point. The sooner we leave here, the better. Let's get going. Kate takes the sword out of my face and makes it vanish. But Darren ahead for the cave to make sure we're not forgetting anything. Before leaving, I make sure to take with me my spoils of war from this morning's skirmishes. A crossbow from one of the crossbowmen who ambushed us, and a few daggers from Cutthroat Dave's men. We joined back with Rose and we set off on our long road ahead. Shortly after we begin our trip, Darren notices that I've strapped my crossbow to the back of my backpack. Barry, why aren't you just putting the crossbow inside the backpack like you did with everything else? Well, because it's already full with all of my other stuff. Full? Wait a minute, Barry, you're telling me that the backpack you're carrying with you right now is actually a completely regular one? Well, yeah, enchanted backpacks are really hard to come by if you're not a mage. You realize you could have asked me to enchant it for you, right? It literally only takes a few minutes. Here, give me that. Darren grabs my backpack and enters an enchanting trance. His eyes become yellow and the backpack starts to glow. Really? Space magic now? Really? Backpack starts to glow. The fact that Darren materializes an... what? The fact that Darren specializes on item enchantment had completely slipped my mind. Enchanted backpacks are leagues better than normal ones. They have almost infinite space. People can't see what's inside them, so they can only steal your stuff if they know exactly what they're looking for. Taking an item out of an enchanted backpack is as simple as focusing on its image and reaching inside for it. So what if you forget what is all the stuff you put in your bag, and then you just looking around and you can't figure out what the hell you have in your bag? Rose is looking very interested in the enchanting process. She's now studying Darren closely. Hey Barry, Darren says, do you want to have your backpack extra secure, or should I just leave it like this? If I secure it, then only you will be able to take items out of it. The only downside is that you can't really authorize other people to take items from your backpack once you secure it. Normally security shouldn't be much of a problem with these backpacks, because someone has to actually know what you have inside before taking an item, but it never hurts to be safe. Do not secure the backpack. Yes, I'm 100% sure what this is gonna go for around the like, because if you're gonna secure the backpack, they're gonna get like health potions or something, and they're gonna put that in, and then we're gonna be far away from a backpack at some point, and we won't be able to help them take out the potion or whatever. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. Do not secure the backpack. No, leave it like that. It's secure enough as it is. As you wish. Once he done enchanting my backpack, he hands it back to me and then turns to Rose. And see, you're very interested in my craft. Would you perhaps like to have your backpack enchanted as well? Rose blushes, realizing that she had been a bit too obvious in her curiosity. I would be honored, she answers. Once he's done with her backpack too, we continue on our way. Spend the next few hours traveling south, taking the most direct route available to Rose Town. Her usual route was designed to avoid most areas that are known to be frequented by monsters, but Darren insisted on delivering the cure to the sick as soon as possible, and said that our group should be able to handle a few monster attacks. The scenery we've been seeing during our travel has been rather underwhelming. Maybe my expectations were too high, but I always thought that the fabled continent of Varathia would be filled with all sorts of wonderful natural wonders and mythical creatures. All I have seen today were your everyday pine and oak forest with a lake or a river here and there, to keep it from becoming completely monotonous. By the way, I just realized that the one dude got teleported out of the competition. Like, I thought this world would be a bit more brutal, like medieval fantasy, and he would like splatter into fucking gore all over the goddamn place or something like that, but whatever. At least it's been a few hours since the last time we have been attacked, which is quite an achievement, judging by how this tournament has been so far, which also means I do not get stat points, because we need to be attacked or be near somewhere where fighting is happening between mages for my shit to recharge. Kate has opened up a bit since her last discussion with me. When we first met yesterday, she looked very tense. It seems as though she was expecting us to try and kill her the moment she turns her back on us. Now she seems calmer, and she allows herself to smile a little more often, even if only faintly, especially when she's talking with Rose. We've been keeping a steady pace so far, and there have been no breaks except for occasional stopping to get some fruits from trees or to fill our gourds with water from a river. During one of these small breaks, Rose approaches me in a private to ask me what the discussion I have with Kate this morning. Barry and I have been meaning to hold on. Barry, I've been meaning to ask, did we actually interrupt an important discussion between Kate this morning? Kate's been acting evasive every time I brought up the subject. I'd feel terrible if you two lost the chance to confess your feelings for each other because Darren and I couldn't read the mood. Don't worry, that wasn't what our discussion was about. Actually, I prefer with larger breasts like yourself. Oh, mother of God, that's a medieval fantasy option. I'm still available, that's what you're asking. You got it all wrong. My only feelings are for you. Don't worry, we got to say all we needed before you interrupted. Actually, you're the one that stunned me. I think it's either the first one or the third one. Which one should I go for? I'm still available if that's what you're asking. Yes, I'm gonna go with that. I'm still available if that's what you're asking. Rose smiles. That's not what I was asking, but it does answer my question. I thought you'd be making a pass at me like this if you were actually something between you and Kate. As for your advances, I'm not married, so I have no reason to outright turn you down before I get to know you, but I'd rather we postpone this conversation until a later date. Does that sound okay to you? I want my answer now! Really? Of course. Good. Rose says, still smiling. Now come, we should help the others with picking the fruit. We'll need all the food we can to get for the long journey ahead of us. How far in she came to the forest? Holy shit, what is this, days long fucking... How far did she go? Ridiculous. Rose and I join the others. Once we have all done gathering provision, we depart once more. As we travel, we start talking about various things, Darren adventures. Darren ventures our lives before joining the tournament. The reason we all came here. During our conversation, Darren was of course the one that have been speaking the most, while Kate has been as evasive as always about her past. So reasons for being here hearing our stories. Rose decided to join our discussion by telling us a bit about herself. I always like plants, she tells us, plant and books, so it's no surprise that I spent most of my youth with my nose buried in herbology manuals. As time passed, I started to learn more about herbal medicine, and I realized my talents could be used to help the people in need. Most people I help, I don't really have much money to repay me. What? Most people I help don't really have much money to repay me, but the thing they give me is enough for me to make a living, and their sincere feeling of gratitude are much more rewarding to me than the money I get by only working for rich folk. I've been living in a modest life along with my brother and sister who are 9 and 8, old respectively, and ever since my father died last year, it's been occasionally getting some financial support from my ex-husband. Ooh. We're married, Darren asked. Yes, for a few years, but it didn't really work out in the end. We both moved on with our lives since then. We've had no children together, so there was no hard feelings. Ever since my father died, I've had to take care of my siblings all by myself. So my main focus for the past year has been my work and my family. What about your mother, says Kate. She died long ago when she gave birth to my little sister. Oh, I'm sorry. Rose smiled. There's no need. You couldn't have known. Okay.